Do you have a question? Oh, okay. Yeah, so great. I need to count you really quick, and then we can start. Yes, so welcome to Alta, welcome to Northern Cathedral. My name is Anastasia, I'm a local guide. And we will start our journey from a little bit of a history. Region which we are in now is called Finnmark. This is the easternmost and northernmost county of Norway. And it was completely destroyed after the Second World War by Germans as well as by Soviet Union, but we don't talk about that. And we had nothing but dust here. Only a few buildings have stayed. One of them is our old church, which is just down the main road. It was a classic wooden Protestant church. It was severely damaged by Germans, but the government could maintain and renovate it. And after renovation, it can seat only around 180 people. During the war, they practiced here something called forced immigration. People did not want to leave their land. They were ready to die if they will die right here, where they live, where they belong. So they were hiding in mountains and caves and forests everywhere from the government to not send them away. And also, those people who were forced to emigrate, they came back immediately after the war as soon as they could, as soon as it was safe. So after the war, the community started to grow and they realized that this old church is not enough for a growing municipality. The legend says that after the first Christmas after the war, people started to donate money to build a new church, bit by bit, just to make an input into this kind of common deal. But of course, after the war, there were no money, so they had to put the idea of a new church on pause. They came back to it in the year 1999 when Alta officially received a status of a city. We reached this number of citizens here. As well as we received official title, the City of Northern Lights, Nordlysbyen. We received this title for two main reasons. First is of course because we have amazing northern lights in our sky with really high frequency, and also because not far from Alta, on the mountain top called Alta, we got first stationary northern light observatory in the world. Before that, they used weather observatories to study northern lights, but it was not really sufficient. So this was the first one, but it's important not only because of that, but also because there was a man working, Norwegian scientist, Christian Birkeland. He is the man who invented the theory which we are using nowadays about solar particles, magnetic fields, and so on. Downstairs we have Northern Light Museum, where you can learn more about history, Northern Lights as physics, and also legends and folklore about Northern Lights. It's open for you today. So yes, we received this status, we received this title, and then the government was like, okay, we attract more people here, we attract tourists, so we need a new landmark for this municipality. But also we need a church. Let's combine both and make really stunning, amazing, gorgeous church. They started a competition between architects and architecture bureaus in 2002. Who won? A guy from Stavanger, which is South Norway, an architecture bureau from Denmark. I'm not Norwegian, for me their names are unpronounceable, but you can take information next year, I will give them to you if you're really into architecture and you want to check them out. But they were working on a building as like construction, as engineering part. For design, outside and inside, there was like overall the concept. There was Danish photographer and designer Peter Brandes working on it. This name I could learn. Yes, so actually this church is more Danish than Norwegian, but don't tell it to anyone here. They will be mad. So yes, they started working on the project and they started construction works in 2011. Construction works took approximately 630 days, and they made official opening ceremony in 2013. But actually the cathedral wasn't finished by that point of life. Why? As you can see, this whole building is made out of pure concrete. They made these shapes for it, these forms, triangles, squares and so on, in the south. But they brought it here and they poured the concrete right here, so it was like curing right here in Alta. And concrete, of course, takes a really long time to cure. So this beautiful organ was made in Sweden by the same company who made the organ for our old church 150 years ago. We couldn't install it up until 2014, 1 year after official opening, because the concrete wasn't cured enough. If we would install it earlier, we would damage the organ, the acoustics, and also the strength of the wall. As you can see, this building is unusual because they don't have the walls don't have straight angles. They are leaning on each other a bit. So if one wall will be damaged and make boom, all the other walls will make boom, and we will be unhappy, right? Therefore, we had to wait. Outside shape of the cathedral is, of course, according to the name, is Northern Light spiral, but many people give me other associations, such as upper part of underwater vault, this periscope, you know, cinnamon roll, cinnamon bun, and my favorite one, open metal can of beans. Why is it metal can of beans? Because even though this whole building is made out of concrete, we covered it with 40,000 titanium plates. We chose this extremely expensive material for two main reasons. First, it's self-cleaning, so our cathedral is always clean and nice. No burn, poop, no nothing like that. Second of all, because as you can see, it reflects the light, so it reflects the landscape. When we have nice, bright weather days with a lot of sun, our cathedral is shining, it's bright. When we have gray, boring, rainy days, our cathedral is boring and rainy as well. So it fits the landscape. And my favorite personal time of the cathedral is when there is a sunset, because the sun goes down right behind the cathedral, and when we are standing on this pedestrian main street, everything is filled with colors. Red, orange, yellow, and the cathedral is filled with colors as well. They chose the most expensive metal that they could find, but they decided to save some money on screws. So, if they would connect it, they would need 3 screws or more to connect this at least 2 plates. But they created this system with locks, so they did just like that. Now instead of 3 or more screws, they needed just 1. Inside the cathedral, we have 2 main floors. This floor with a church room, of course, and also we have a big cafeteria there. People, after Sunday services, they go there together to share cakes, to share coffee, to feel this togetherness and community. Also, we have a smaller cafeteria, and there we have volunteers working. Usually, retired people, ladies and gentlemen, they come here to cook waffles and coffee for our guests. And they do it because it's to socialize, to be a part of a society. Also, we have some boarding rooms like priest room, storage room, and the others, not that important. Bathrooms are actually that way and operate. And downstairs, we have Northern Light Museum, which you are going to visit, and some offices. Why do we have offices in the church, as well as why do we have an entrance fee? They actually did not need such a big cathedral. Overall, in Alta, we have, as a municipality, we have 21,000 people living, and we have approximately 21 houses of faith. So, people have a place to go and pray, but what they needed was a concert hall. What they needed was a community center, and this building serves all the purposes. So for instance, for a concert hall, we have organ concerts here, we have chorus concerts, we have kids chorus. Oh my god, that's my favorite one. When kids from local music school are playing for kids from local kindergartens. That's so sweet. And also we have a big grand piano. It's behind the curtain, this wall. You can see it later. It's a Steinway grand piano, so it's really expensive. It was donated for us, I think, by Sporebank, one of our banks. And yeah, we have a lot of concerts here, so it serves as a hall. As a community center, we have, for instance, something called baby singing. Mothers with their newborn kids are sitting here on yoga mats with music teacher. She's playing music and they're singing together to create a bond between a mother and a child. And also we have some other events for school kids, for adults, for families, so it serves as a community center. And all the entrance fees are going either for organizing these events or for salaries of people who are doing these events. So yes, outside this room in the hallway you can see that we have stone floors. This is not just a stone, it's Alta slate. Alta slate is unique because it was formed 700 million years ago, and some fossils which pollute stones and make them less strong were created by Mother Nature approximately 350 million years ago. Therefore, Alta slate is not polluted. It's really strong, really of a high quality. And one roof made out of Alta slate can serve you 150 years without any repairment. So it's really long-term material. We use it there for this purpose, but also to support local production. Also, not designers, but the government who was responsible for it, they wanted to make it here as well, the floor made out of slate. But main designer, Peter Brandes, he was like, walls are grey. If you will make floor grey as well, you will have a feeling of being in a carcer, in a prison. Therefore, he offered to add some warmth and use oak. This is German oak, but they brought it here and they cut it here. They cut it in small bricks. In this line we have 7 small bricks. Overall there are 140,000 lines like this on the floor, so it's basically a big puzzle. You can actually come after the tour and touch everything if you want to. Yes, so main thing that you see when you enter the cathedral is of course the statue of Jesus Christ. I'm from Belarus, I'm from Orthodox country, so normally in my culture Jesus looks down as a symbol of death, hopelessness and grief. Here Jesus looks up. Peter Brennan wanted to create this feeling of hope that Jesus accomplished his mission on the earth and he's happy to go back to heaven, to his Father God. If you step closer to the stage later, you will see that there is a window above his head, and when we have nice weather days, the light from the sun goes down right on his face, again underlining the connection of skies and Jesus. Some people say that in this walkway, if you stand in a few points of it, you can see that there is a face on its neck. Some people are saying that this is a face actually of Peter Brandes, but I think it's too selfish, so he wouldn't do that. So, most of people think that it's an image of a God, again to underline that God is a part of Jesus. He is with him all the time. One of his hands is a fist, as a symbol of struggle, of a fight for human beings on the earth. Another one is open, as a symbol of welcoming. He is happy to see everyone in this church, whoever you are, wherever you are from, you're always welcome here. To support this statement, actually, officially this is Protestant Lutheran Church, but we offer this place for ceremonies for people from other smaller denominations who do not have their place in Alta. So, for instance, Sami people can come here. It's one of the few churches in Norway, actually, where Sami people are allowed to do their traditional ceremonies. This is a bronze statue made in Italy, in Tuscany, and it was transported here by a truck. So it was going through whole Europe, to Sweden, to Finland, and then border with northern Norway. I love living in northern Norway because we have really amazing weather here. You feel my Slavic sarcasm, right? So yeah, it was mid-July when they were transporting it, and they reached the border, and they had to stop for 3 days. Why? Because of course, a truck from Italy in mid-July did not have winter tires with spikes with them. And out of nowhere, it started to snow heavily. So they had to wait for truck company to bring them tires from South Norway to North Norway and to install them. Okay, they changed their tires, they crossed the border, and they had to stop again. Why? Because it was mid-July and everything started to melt. You're not allowed to use tires with spikes on a dry road. So they had to wait again for a full day to change tires back. And then they continued their journey. Headlines of newspapers during the time were Jesus stuck in Norway. What for a normal person on a car would take 3.5 hours, for our Jesus took 3.5 days. But eventually, the statue came here, and actually this whole cathedral was built around it. So first they installed the Jesus, and only after they installed all the walls. Okay, let's start here. On this side of stage we have a lecture where a priest is speaking. We have actually both male and female priests. And it covered, decorated with 4 pictures of 4 evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. Goat, bull, angel wing and eagle. Actually, I'm not a Christian, I'm not really aware of Bible, but many guests were coming to me and saying that normally pictures are different for this apostle, so it does not match kind of official version. And actually, Peter Brennan had his own vision. So for instance, scenes which are used there on the baptizing font, we will come back to this, they're not from a regional Bible, it's like something from extra stories or something like that. So yes, also we have, if you turn around, you will see that on this big tube, which is a continuation of a tower, which you can see from the outside, we have 12 golden pictures. Each picture symbolizes each apostle. But honestly speaking, no one of us knows which picture is which apostle. Therefore, because this picture makes no sense. So, therefore, we have this postcard where you have all the pictures, and on the back side, you have all the pictures with names. Names are in Norwegian, but they're similar to those that you use in English. Funny thing about this is that these pictures were kind of donated by local companies. They were given money, and most of them did not care which apostle will be sponsored by their money, but local lawyers firm specifically asked that their money are going to pay for Judas. I find it funny. Yes, so on this side of the stage we have a baptizing font. It covered with 32 shades of blue, and also Peter Brandes wanted to underline the connection between kids who are being baptized here and God. Therefore, he used, for God's part, he used scenes from Bible, but for the kids' part, he made it kind of in childish style, so you can see that lines are not really straight, they're a bit inaccurate, to kind of combine both God and kids. When you come closer, you will see that there is a golden light going up from this font, and when they pour water on kids' heads, it looks golden and it creates kind of a halo above their heads. Behind the scene you can see the blue wall. How do you think, what does it symbolize? Heaven? Sky? Yeah. Usually people are saying heaven, sky, ocean, water in fjords and so on. Actual story is that Peter Brandes came here when the cathedral was actually finished, and he was looking and he decided that it looks too gray, too boring, too industrial and unwelcoming, so he was like, yeah, let's just add some color. So this detail is actually pretty random. It was in initial plan, wasn't. Here and inside the tube we have places for candles. Usually people are putting candles there in memory of their died friends or relatives, but actually during baptizing ceremonies, people who are invited here for the ceremony, they put one candle on this place to kind of, for health of baby, for success and so on, for baby's good. This, I always receive questions about these glass panels on the walls with the word whips on it. So actually they put numbers of songs from books that you can see from behind you when they have services, so people know which song is coming next. VIPs is Norwegian payment system, so people who want to donate during the ceremony can just like do it in one click. Yeah. All around the cathedral you can see strips of lights, and normally people are saying me that they look like northern lights, dancing around the sky with different lengths and height. But actually, originally, it was made for the acoustics. So these are just basically white plastic lights, and when Peter Brandes saw that, he was like, yeah, okay, we need lights because it looks super ugly. Yes, and now they look like northern lights, and actually acoustic in our place is really specific. First 2 months of my work here, I didn't know that we have a microphone, so I had to scream for the groups, and groups much bigger than yours. So I had to speak like that, so everybody can hear me. But actually it worked pretty well. It's specifically because of this acoustic. So this plate gives us acoustic. Also there are holes in the wall, you can see. It also made for the acoustics. And up on the ceiling, it's covered with special wooden plates, which are also giving this nice soft echo to like keep the sound in here. Inside these main walls, not main walls, front walls, we have special material, we call it curtain, that also helps to reflect the light. And we can open this big wooden door there on the wall. Mostly it's to increase the capacity, so overall, like right now, we can fit around 350 people, but if we open this, we can fit around 600 people. So, and also to change the sound. Actually, everything here in the church is controlled by an iPod. It's locked in that big room, and we can control ventilation, lights, acoustics, microphones, everything in here. But it's in Norwegian, so I know only how to turn on and turn off the lights. Yes, I guess that's mainly it. Do you have any questions?
What religion is the church for?
Protestant Lutheran, originally, but we offer this place for everyone. So people from different denominations can have weddings and confirmation and funeral here as well. Anything else? No, okay, if you will have questions, I will be on the cashier outside. Now you can take some time to take pictures, but friend group is coming instead of you, so then you should go downstairs. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy the cathedral.